We think at Judy's house that grief is a great equalizer. And, when kids are young, you mentioned starting to have these feelings that you may have never had before, and then you start to feel guilty about them. But for young kids that are developing, they are at risk when they lose someone. They're going through grief. They're at risk for derailing their development, whether it's with depression, anxiety, teen suicide. There's so many factors that they're having to deal with. I'm just interested from your perspective, if you could go back to when you were, a teenager and growing up, if you were dealing with grief, why it would be so important to be able to access grief support services for children?
Yeah. Probably the hardest thing is asking for help once you know that you need help. And then with loss and grief, almost equally as hard as finding a place to go to get that help. I mean, even at 25, I didn't understand 99% of what I was feeling. Things that I've never felt before, things that I've never thought before in my life. And it gave me a different perspective on who I am as a person, my own personality. It's been an enormous fight to just get back to kind of who I naturally am, maybe a bit more positive, a little bit more silly or giggly or generally a happy person. It's so important to make tackling grief more of a necessity, and especially for kids. The experience and the emotions I had were so drastically different from anything I'd ever experienced in life that doing that in a stage where I was fully developing and making friends and learning how to socialize and interact with other people in school, going through school, you don't, and especially as a kid, you have the luxury of not having adult responsibilities, but at the same time, for me, the responsibilities were what made me get out of bed and put one foot in front of the other. As a kid, you don't have that. That is one of the most painful things you could possibly experience. I wish there was more access, but at least whoever can possibly get access to this kind of connection, and through Judy's house and anything else that could possibly be like it. It kind of can't be emphasized enough.